Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. This is the second generation Lange Sohne 1815 Flyback Chronograph. In fact, you're looking at the new for 2015 white gold 1815 Flyback Chronograph Boutique Edition, and this watch tries to restore a little bit of the charm that was lost in the second generation. The 2004 to 2008 Generation 1 is broadly loved. Not everyone loved their revival, the 1815, when it bowed in 2010. But by 2015, with the pulsometric scale and the blue on silver-white dial base, the watch was recovering a lot of the charm of the earlier variants. And a lot of folks will say this and the black dial are among the best 1815 chronos ever made. 39.5 millimeters in diameter. It has all of the dotograph running gear with the exception of the up-downs power reserve and date. As a result, it looks exactly the same through the case back. You get all of that, but it's thinner. At 11.4 millimeters thick, 48.3 lug-to-lug with a 20 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. The watch is a lovely piece. You can see on my wrist 16 centimeters in circumference, very comfortable, much flatter than a dotograph, far more comparable to something like a 5170 Patek Philippe. I find it's a great fit for a wrist of 14 centimeters circumference and up. Very thin too, easily sliding beneath a sleeve of any kind. The watch features large, rectangular, symmetrical scale alligator leather, an expensive and rare cut of the animal taken from the belly, substantial with bolstering or stuffing to give it volume. We've got a light brown semi-gloss finish, monotone stitch, folded edge you can see on the bottom, calfskin, no crimping, no gouging, brand new Lange factory strap. We have Lange's distinctive pin buckle with soft faceting outboard, this little retaining bar so that the strap, if it's very tight, or if you use the smallest hole or make smaller holes, you will not wind up getting the strap pinned on the pin. You know, when you strap a watch down tightly, it can be difficult to extricate. That little retaining bar saves you some grief. B for Boussole d'Or, which is the Swiss supplier of this part, and that's why it has a Swiss hallmark on it. Then we have an elevated bridge, so that you can stick the strap inside the buckle like that and it won't stack up. It actually fits in the buckle when it's on your wrist. Here we have a satin case band to contrast with the polish case back flange and bezel. We have stepped lugs, a design featured on Lange watches since the very earliest in the fall of 1994. Polished lugs, you can see there's a little diminishing soft bevel on their sides. And then we have a Lange branded crown and a little pusher adjuster for chronograph functions. This is going to be your start and stop. And then this is your reset, but it's a flyback. So this pusher allows you to reset and restart without first stopping. Great for events that occur in rapid succession. You won't miss a beat. Pull the crown out. We also have a hacking seconds function. We have a pulsometric scale, so 30 pulsations. What you do is you start the chronograph while counting the heartbeats of a patient. It's often described as a doctor's scale or a doctor's watch. And when you reach 30 heartbeats, you stop the chronograph, and that would have been 140 beats per minute. Or if the person's in really dire straits, you stop the chronograph and it's adjacent to 180. That means if you stop counting 30, halt the chronograph simultaneously, and look at the scale, it's a little bit over 180 beats per minute. So that's exactly what you do. Once you've counted that 30th beat, you stop the chronograph, and that's your beat per minute. So you can see a few things about this dial. First, it's blue on silver white, which is an evocative, lovely, warm, and approachable color scheme. Many had charged that the second generation 1815 lacked a little bit of character. The use here of blue on silver white, the addition of the Rejo outboard, the use of a pulsometric scale adds back a lot of character that was lost in the transition from first generation 1815 to second generation. We have alpha style hands in white gold for clock time, hours, and minutes. One characteristic of the L951 movement is that the centers for the counters, the chronograph minutes and the running seconds, they're below the canyon pinions, so they droop a little bit relative to the junction of the hands at center. You could see we have instantaneous jumping minutes, and we also have a nice slow beat rate of 18,000 vibrations per hour, or 5 beats per second. And so you could see that the second scale is calibrated to fifths of a second. We have a lovely counterweighted blue Lancet style seconds hand, little chemin de fer or railroad tracks in the sub-registers, as well as around the dial so you can read minutes, seconds, and fractions of seconds. We'll turn the watch over. By the way, the dial is made of sterling silver. It's then galvanized to the silver-white color. The case is gray gold, which is a type of 18-karat white gold that never needs to be rhodium plated. We talked about suppliers of parts to Lange. Lange doesn't make cases, bracelets, or clasps, so Bousseledor made that pin buckle, and then you can see Centror, which is a company associated with Audemars Piguet, made the case. Another reason why there's a Swiss hallmark on this German-made watch. So the movement is the L9515. The main difference between this and the original 1815 chronograph is the main difference between the original Dado and the Dado up-down, a longer power reserve. The Gen 1 1815 chrono, 36 hours. This one, 60. 2.5 hertz beat rate. You can see we've got a modern free-sprung balance with the adjustments made using pairs of variable inertia eccentric screws. You also have a swan's neck for very fine regulation, but most is going to be done with the eccentrics. It's got an overcoil hairspring, so positionally it has very stable timekeeping. Not every Lange has an overcoil. It's a very special feature for certain elite models, and this has it. 5-position adjustment, which is the chronometer standard, but also the high horology standard. You'll see that on older Roger Dubuis. You'll see it on Vacheron, on Lange. 5 positions is considered to be chronometer. As you can see, there's really nothing about this case back distinct from the Dodograph. The date and the power reserve on the Dado and Dado up-down, they're on the dial side of the movement, so you wouldn't see them anyway. On the case back here, you can see the column wheel as well as the lateral clutch. All the silver parts are steel. They're chronograph related. All the champagne-colored parts are German silver. They are the fundamental timekeeping functions as well as the bridges for the chronographs at center. Here's your chrono minutes with the jumper. Here's your chrono seconds bridge. Nickel, copper, zinc is what comprises the German silver, and so the copper gives it that golden hue. We have both polished mirrored screws and we have fired blued screws, and you can see they solve 2 different problems. The blued ones indicate, and this is for the watchmaker reassembling, that these are screws that fix things that are not supposed to move, such as chaton settings, golden cups that hold the pivot jewels, or bridges that are designed to stay in place. The polished and mirror polished, I should say, screws are used on things that are designed to move or be adjusted. And so you can see a lot of these adjustable mechanisms feature polished screws. Now we also have mirrored anglage on the edge of the steel parts for the chronograph and on the edge of the bridges. Freehand engraving. On the balance cock, we have stripes, or Streifen, since we're in Germany. These are not Geneva waves, we're not in Switzerland. We have engine turning or perlage on the base plate. Satination on the wheels, but also brushed satination across the tops of the steel parts. The steel parts that are not brushed across their tops are mirror finished, and this is why they call it black polish, because you can see a lot of the reflective surfaces turn black at all angles except their one reflective angle. And that's a very important thing. That's why it's called poly noir. Lateral clutch, you can see we got a column wheel, and the feeling is world class. The tactile sensation sets the standard. You can also see that there's some elements of the steel chrono clutch that I really like. Chaton cup settings are not necessary on a modern watch, but they're a throwback to the way pocket watches would have been made in Lange's native Saxony in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Also, we have German silver used because that's how it would have been done in antiquity before rhodium-plated brass. Look at the clutch, though. You can see where those bevels meet. We have a sharp interior angle on each side of the steel clutch where those bevels meet in a sharp crease. That's very difficult to do in a confined space and also on steel. And you can see in this instance we have both, and yet Lange has achieved those interior angles, which are quite beautiful and very special. There is a lot to love about this watch. 34 jewels. And you can see on the base plate, 5-position adjusted. If you love this watch, reach out. 30 meters water resistant, so you don't want to swim with it, but I could describe this as one of the sportiest dress watches in the Lange catalog. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.